No.
He was a veteran, and he went back to South Dakota to visit his mom and found her burning her siding off her house in the wood stove to stay warm. And he decided he needed to stay. You know, people burned their shoes and tore the sidings off their homes to survive and stay warm. Not really sustainable.
That was Walter Tiashbe?
No. His name was Walter Littlemoon.
Oh, Walter Littlemoon. Okay.
I never had contact with him after that, but he was involved in a workshop that we gave some of our monetary resources to be involved in this workshop so that we could take the funds and send them to South Dakota to build an ambulatory care center for the people that lived in that neighborhood, in that area. And it was near the Wounded Knee area, I believe. You know, it was in the local area. In one of the reservations in that area. It was a very, very poorly funded community.
Thank you. Is there anything else, Jun-san, you want to ask about or continue?
Yeah, I interest in Chisako-san.
Chisako-san.
She's a part of watching Hank-san, so.
Yeah, but that time, when I came here, I couldn't speak any English, and I didn't really talk with Hank at all. I was still learning English, so I really.
How old are you?
I was 23.
Why you came America? Because
Michio was here, and
interesting looking America.
something like that.
But very, so you just student that time, or you already graduated?
I graduated. And
Yeah, of course. And you want adventure life?
Right. But it was fun living here, kind of. It was no peace pagoda was. Yeah, I helped Jun-san straightening up the nails.
Oh, yeah, but testimony.
Wow.
Do you remember Jun-san? It was a hot summer.
She helped us work on the stupa.
Yeah, I mean, I
Making
always
concrete.
thread nails.
Yes.
We made concrete, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
We made concrete and poured it into the stupa.
Yeah,
And there were
nice.
people in the barn painting the stones.
You were painting the stones?
Yeah, that's part of Gendai Hoto's project.
Oh.
Because inside Gendai Hoto stone stupa, we have to put in the prayer, and each stone has a prayer. So the Lotus Sutra's Chinese calligraphy. So people pick up one calligraphy, one stone, and painting. Oh, you remember this?
A
Wow.
long time ago.
Len-san.
Oh, Ren-san is one of English stonemason guy. He's a Quaker friend. So Ren-san was helping stone stupa, and
Yes.
he making the build the piece stone stupa, Namiya Horinike stupa. Yeah, so we went to stone quarry and collecting all small stone. And stone quarry people, what you guys doing? To small stone too. So I said, we putting the special place to prayer stone. So we collecting special stone from stone quarry. So they said, take it, whatever you want. We become good friends. So after that, whatever I need, pick up stone by buckets, by small car, they said, take it. They always offer to us because we always pick up by buckets, maybe 10 buckets. So still doing Iris-san.
Is that the
Nearby Hanaford in that.
oh, that the stone the gravel plate?
That's a
Oh,
quarry. That's on the way here.
Not here.
No,
That's not
that's
there.
on the other road.
It's on the other road. Okay.
43, I think, and then go straight up
Yeah.
that way,
So-
and then there
Also,
is
you calligraphy? Chisako-san.
Mm.
No, I don't. Maybe when I was in high school, but not anymore.
You was drawing calligraphy for stone stupa?
No, I just
So maybe
straightened the
you do.
nails.
No, I
You
just
was
knew that
clever.
it was. I knew what was happening. I remember Len saying,
So you helped to the calligraphy?
I helped with the stupa and putting the face of the stone,
Oh, wow.
putting the stone on the veneer
Oh,
as it was being built. We
so with Ren-san?
yes, worked with Len on doing
More
the
like
concrete
this.
work and
Oh,
And-
wow, thank
and
you.
fastening the veneer,
Oh, wow.
the outside to the
Oh, wow.
concrete
Wow, that's
as we
interesting.
built it up,
Oh, wow.
putting the stones in and mortaring
Yeah.
Mhm.
and pointing in.
Wow.
After it
that's very
started to dry,
interesting.
we'd take the form off and
Oh.
point the stones so that they looked right.
You know what's happening end of the time? When the finished stone stupa?
I wasn't here during that part.
So that's Ren-san's story. Nobody around.
Yeah.
Ren-san is an Englishman. She said, if I'm stay here. If you offer tea time, I stay here.
He wanted his tea time.
Yeah, or this Englishman.
Yeah.
So I said, that's very easy for me. So he's happy to stay here.
Yeah.
And the end of the finished stone stupa, not putting top of the Nammyo Horengekyo, but almost finished the base, how to say.
Yeah, the base of the
Yeah.
form.
And he was finished, so he sitting by himself to drinking tea, cookies, and finished. And that's his story. He said, suddenly rainbow is middle of stone base to come to the sky.
Mhm.
And he's an elder man, he's not the drug or alcohol person.
Right.
Mhm.
But he was so surprised, he said. It's some power of prayers.
Mm.
The rainbow just come up to the sky, that he said. So I was not watch it,
Yeah.
that his experience.
Mhm.
So I understand, wow, part of everybody's prayer stone is something energy to reflecting the, Renaissance. Something. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Because I'm not this kind of person. Psychic people, I'm not psychic.
Yeah.
All around me, so many psychic friends, but I'm very bad one. I'm not spiritual side. So it's a very interesting way that Ren-san explained to that.
Yeah, I think Hank developed his ability to understand the energy here.
So that's where I put it to the nearby stone stupa. We moved to Hank-san's gravesite here. No gravesite, just gravesite. Just because after Hank-san passed away, Caroline-san was taking care that time. So her decision, whatever she want to do, so we cannot say anything.
Right.
So she put it bushes live far away behind.
His memorial.
Yeah,
And his remains, his ashes.
yeah. But it's very difficult to us to every day go to there
Yeah.
because Dan was living and we are early morning to walk around Dan's house, wake up every morning to drumming. They don't wanna,
Yeah.
So after many years, and Caroline's already gone, and almost over 20 years after Hank-san passed away, I talked to Joe and Cindy. We like to move Hank-san to, gravesite nearby Stone Stupa. So Caroline-san, I think, just grabbing the ashes to put in ground to some marking, but not real marking.
Right.
So we just pick up some, dirt from over there. So I don't know this is ashes or anything, but some ashes. Joe and Cindy said, Jun-san, this is okay. Time to come to moving. Hank-san was happy to see Peace Pagoda from here, nearby Gendai Hoto. So we made it Hank's grave site.
Is the stone marker here?
I show you. Maybe I can show too.
Last time we came and visited Hank, he was still behind his house.
Because that is Caroline-san's idea. She's a part of it, 7 years taking care.
Yeah.
So I couldn't tell anything
Right.
to her. That's her way to decision. So. But Joe-san very want Hank-san's. Joe very not comfortable over there. Nobody come to prayer. But here many people appreciate coming every morning. So every morning we walk to Hank-san's gravesite.
Yeah.
And to pray, thank you, Hank. So that's very happy.
Yeah, he could be honored and remembered more.
So that is the 27th of anniversary is a Hank-san's commemoration. So many of Hank-san's connection. I try to contact the Native American friend.
Yeah.
And I try to contact Akwesasne people. So one of Seneca Nation friend is a good, strong friend to me, Agnes William. So she know all Akwesasne elder people, or now is no more Akwesasne note.
Yeah.
But she knows who is kind of involved. Maybe not our generation, next generation. So maybe they remember Hank.
John Fadden would remember Hank.
Who
John Fadden.
is one of the editor. You have
F-A-D-D-E-N.
connection?
I think he could be found. He was Ray Fadden's son. Ray Fadden ran the He ran the Mohawk Museum in Onchiota.
Can you write it in name? I ask.
John Fadden helped me with the project to raise money for Akwesasne Notes. We had a concert with Pete Seeger and Floyd Westerman, the actor.
Wow.
And he wasn't an actor, he was a musician. But he was an actor too. He was in Dances with Wolves.
He's still alive?
No, I think he's dead.
I look in.
John Fadden's an artist, and he did a lot of the artwork for Akwesasne Notes.
That's one.
He did the calendars, he did the artwork.
Yeah. But
he made the posters.
Looking with some Akwesasne people.
He was Ray Fadden's son.
To connect the Hank-san. I like.
He would remember
some native friend. Lauren Canoes, all these people, but I think those
Tom Porter.
Yeah, Tom Porter we visited all the time. Maybe I invite Tom Porter. Tom Porter came here when Hank was.
Sure, I think so.
Okay.
I think
We
So,
walked to Tom Porter's house
Tom-
last week, for
yeah,
Thanksgiving.
we stayed at Tom Porter's
Oh,
when we worked on a project at the Akwesasne Freedom School, and Tom Porter
Okay, I remember.
put us up. We stayed at his
Oh,
house, and
Freedom
he
School,
gave us
yeah.
breakfast. And there was another man. I would have to go back in my file and see if I have the notes that I kept for the Freedom School benefit concert.
Yeah,
Um,
who's involved in.
there was a man on the river who was involved in the
So we should go to Tom
notes.
Porter's house to, interview.
He lives back in Akwesasne now.
Not yet, but he start planning to back.
Yeah.
He was almost moving around. He want to go home, Akwesasne, but this is original Mohawk land, so he want to stay. He changing
Yeah.
because one of daughter is handicapped. So she worry about after he passed away, where is the most comfortable community. So is now Thompson living nearby Hakama. That is no any native community there. Just Tom Porter. He invite many people, but they're not moving to.
They didn't stay.
Yeah, they
It
have
was-
many friends visiting, but nobody creating around that area.
Yeah.
So I think Tom Porter back to original home. So we have amazing story. Can you explain, Alison?
From Tom?
Thanksgiving Day.
Oh,
What's
when,
Thompson's story?
when we were walking last year.
Thanksgiving.
What story do you want to share?
Thompson no want to go to the environment conference or this story.
Okay. You want now?
Yeah, go ahead.
So last year, Thanksgiving, we did a peace walk at Little Falls, from Little Falls to Tom Porter House. So on Thanksgiving Day, we walked to Tom Porter House, and he greet us and offer corn soup, corn and bean soup, the native traditional corn and bean soup, and native tea. And he told a story about he experienced, I think probably 4 or 5 years ago, is that right, Vincent? That he was invited to a conservation conference in Canada. And he wasn't sure if he wanted to go or not. He was thinking like, who am I? I'm not a conservation specialist or anybody to go to that kind of conference or do any talk about it. So during the period of time, he keep kind of like thinking about it, if I should go or not go. And then one of his friends came and told him also, you need to go to this conference. I will buy the ticket, I'll pay for everything. You just need to go to this conference. So finally he decided to go, but not by airplane or anything, just get in his car and drive there, because last minute decision. So on his way driving there, he was listening to native station talk.
Western music
Western music.
is
One
country
of the
music.
country music, but it's also
He likes to.
yeah.
He liked country music, so he was listening country music. Whatever country music going on, he's so happy to drive. But suddenly difference sound coming. That is.
Yeah. So I think what he was explaining is that he passed through an area where the connection is not good, right? So the radio would like show the music is not clear, but a voice of a woman, like Native American Mohican or
No.
what was it?
Mohawk people.
Mohawk, yeah. Language was talking to him through the radio.
Mm.
But he realized that it's so far away from the
Akwesasne.
reservation already, so it's not possible to connect to the native radio.
Because Akwesasne has the original Mohawk radio.
Sikon.
Yeah.
Sikon radio.
Yeah. So he decided to turn off the radio,
Mhm.
but the boy was still talking to him when he turned the radio off, and he was like, "What's going on here?"
Yeah.
And the boy of the woman, and he was asking like, "Who are you? Are you talking to me? Who are you?" And the boy would say, "Yes, I'm your mother."
Mm.
And start talking to him as if there was the person in the car talking to him, a conversation.
Mm.
And so she was start telling him story that she's mother, and he was like, "Mother, my mother?" And she said, "Yes, I am Mother Earth."
Mm.
And she told story and saying that she's feel very lonely because nobody visit her anymore. Children are not visit mother anymore.
Mhm.
Meaning human no more focused to mother.
Right.
Mother Earth.
Right.
And she was telling him about the time of the year where day and night are the same.
Mhm.
And there's 2 times of the year that day and night are the same. So immediately he was thinking of equinox time.
Equinox.
But it's not equinox. It was is this summer solstice? It was. So equinox is what, August, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this is like June.
So it's the summer solstice.
Yeah. Where the day and night are the same amount of time.
Uh-huh.
But people don't think about that, right? When they talk about that, they only think about equinox. But he say, no, that's not. It's the summer solstice. So every year during that time, he go to. It's become his tradition. Go to the wood, anywhere nearby the wood, and celebrate. Visit mother,
Mm.
celebrate and bring children there, and celebrate and like visit mother.
Mhm.
And he want to send that message to all children to
Mhm.
make sure you come and visit mother.
I was involved with the Tree of Peace Society, and I attended the first meeting where the Tree of Peace Society was chartered, and that was on Cornwall Island at the radio station, the Akwesasne radio station. And there was a group of people there.
Tom Porter, Jake Swamp.
I would say Jake. And there was a man from Pennsylvania there, and he was very knowledgeable. I believe there may have been someone from Princeton. And he knew a lot about the history. He knew a lot about the forming of the forming of the American government from the meetings that took place in Albany in 1754, I think it was.
Albany
The
happened.
Plan of Union.
Yeah.
He knew a lot about the Albany Plan of Union.
Yeah. Before
And
independence.
some documents were brought
Oh.
out called the Morgan Papers, I believe they were called. But a lot of the documents from the Albany Plan of Union are in the archives at Albany. But there were a lot of projects and That was just another one that was, you know, relating to my work with Hank. We planted a tree apiece during the tricentennial of Albany in Washington Park, and I think you attended. We had Jake did the ceremony, and
planting tree ceremony. Right?
planting
Yeah.
tree ceremony. The tree was donated, and Hank supervised the rain involvement. I mostly organized the ceremony project with Hank's supervision. And I may have an article somewhere buried in my files to document that. And I go back there from time to time, and I know the general area, but the tree is so big, I can't remember which tree.
Yeah, me either. So many trees planted.
But I think the Parks Department would have a record of it.
Oh,
I think the Parks Department keeps record. They were very, very specific where the tree was to be planted. That was not negotiable.
Oh, wow.
They wanted it in that spot, and it was a beautiful spot. It was a good place to put it.
I think Ann Hunter, no. You remember Ann Hunter?
I know very close the proximity of what tree it is, but I'm not sure I could exactly say it's this tree. I used to be able to find it because it used to have all the ribbons on it still. And you know, you could go back 9 or 10 years after the tree was planted and you'd find a remnant of a ribbon that was tied to the branches.
Oh, wow.
But I'd love to see that tree have a plaque commemorating the planting, because it was during the 300-year celebration of Albany. It was the Albany Tricentennial, and during the whole celebration of the Albany Tricentennial, a lot of things were overlooked. They had some native original people canoe down to Albany and come to a ceremony but I wasn't a part of that. And they had, the city brought a separate delegation to the planting of the tree. And it was all, in a way, surreal.
So Hank's very involved Tree of Peace.
Yes, Hank was involved in the Tree of Peace Society's
So I
work.
think one time Jake Swamp, not Tom Porter, came here to planting tree front of Peace Pagoda too. Hank was already no more here, but Jake came. Jake
Yeah.
Swamp.
Yeah, I attended a couple of tree planting ceremonies as well. The one in Albany. There was one in New Paltz, on the campus of SUNY New Paltz. And was there a tree of peace planted in Inwood a couple years ago with Tom Porter? We went to New York City, to Inwood, to that. Every year there's a celebration in Inwood at a park, and they have a powwow of some sort, and the native people gather, and Tom Porter was there, and there was a tree of peace planted in Inwood. So we attended that ceremony, but they're all over the world.
So is Georgie was one last last week, you went to Ramapo people
Yes.
ceremony with Mohawk people. Can you explain
Yeah.
your sharing?
Yeah.
Because this is Mohawk people.
Yeah. I wasn't on time for the actual connection and celebration at the Sweetwater camp, but I was able to go to the museum and met Chief Perry there and
Can you
Chief
explain
Clara.
who is there?
Yeah. So the purpose for the two events was, one in the morning was the commemoration of Ramapo Lenape and Mohawk conversions and sacred ceremony in the circle, and then the second event in the afternoon was the commemoration of the church that was donated to Ramapo Lenape, and they had converted that into a museum, Ramapo Lenape Museum. So a lot of Mohawk people came, and we saw the photographs of different Native Americans that were involved in creating this community there. It was more of a photo event, but just to let people know that this land and the building is present and people can visit and make a connection, so that Ramapo Lenape can become a federal recognized tribe. They're state recognized through New Jersey. I mean, there's Ramapo name everywhere, but they haven't been recognized by the federal government. So this was the next step in getting recognition. And they've gone through so many trials and tribulations, even in their Sweetwater camp there, because it's surrounded by polo grounds and very upscale, very rich neighborhood who wanted them out because it ruined their reputation of being a very upscale neighborhood. And here in the middle of it is a Sweetwater camp prayer. All Ramapo Lenape wanted to do is to offer sacred space for not just natives, but just for people in general to be able to hold ceremony together. So it was open for most people, including Nippon Zanmyo-Hoji, when we walked through there during peace walks. And that was actually one of the first starting points when we did our water walk to fight against pilgrim pipelines. So it started there at Ramapo Lenape Sweetwater Camp, prayer camp, all the way up to Albany to raise awareness. And that walk, 173 miles, followed where the future pilgrim pipelines was going to be set. And we won. They stopped that pipeline. Or pipelines, it's plural, because that was very successful. We raised enough awareness, and through so many other years prior to even this walk. So Ramapo Lenape is very important. All right, I'm going to pause this.
I'm going to try to think of some of the contacts in Akwesasne that may have known Hank.
Tom-san came.
Oh, he did.
So you met Tom Matsuda-san, same rain group.